So this next video is a small, sort of a 3 versus 2. Basically what happened is some Destro were ambushing people as they came across the bridge. I happened to see them over there, so I swung wide. This Shadow Warrior did not, and as you're about to see, there we are, so I'm throwing acid grenades, throwing a frag, sticky. I'm trying to work down on their lower level dock right now. Now I switched to the higher level rank 40 dock since he sees me. And they're good, but yep, I killed the Shadow Hunter. And the lower level dock is going to die to my dots, right about there. I see the guy in the back mounted up, so I'm going to have to dismount him as soon as he gets close, like that. And now I'm just trying to dot up that dock. Since he stopped chasing me, he has to concentrate on healing to keep himself up. And I'm trying to kite this one guy. I'm about to use barbed wire, and I see, first I hip shot. The other dock got the res off on the lower level dock, but luckily help showed up. So a good bit of kiting can save you just like that. So I did a lot of strafing using the knockback and keeping up those instant dots as best I could there. So this worked out pretty decently. But it's all about the kiting. I think this whole podcast has ended up being about the kiting. Alright, so now we're going to move into the next section where I'm going to show you some of the places I like to go to gank and some of my more fun ganks and fails. Alright, so this first one I'm just showing you the proper way to approach the first bridge in Dragon Wake. Basically, you want to go to the left up these hills. First off, it's shorter, and second, it gives you a good line of sight in case anybody's wandering around the wide way, if any destruction coming that way. If it's just one, you'll get the drop on them. If there's many, you can try to hide in the foliage and get your way past them. But it's just a much shorter way, and it provides you with some advantages, like having the high ground. And now once you get to the bridge, you're going to want to set up on the left side like this. So you'll see as I pan around, I can't be seen if Destro come up behind me, and I can still get a line of sight up the bridge to see if anybody's coming down. So, next, and then I show right there on the map where I am. Now I have a Marauder coming in, I have a landmine out, so it stuns him. I do a hip shot knockback, a concussive knockback, and he's off that cliff. This cliff right here is perfect for this, by the way. It's too steep for them to climb back up, but there's an edge to it so that they'll hit the cliff and slide down for damage. Next I have a Zealot coming up. This is a kind of a fail issue right here, where I actually knock him back off the cliff, but too far. He doesn't hit that short edge, so he doesn't take any damage till the very bottom, and then he managed to heal his way through it. After this, I decided to go over the bridge, and I got into a little tiff with a Witch Elf, and as you'll see, I end up just kind of winning it. It was actually pretty damn close. So I'm finishing him off. I used barbed wire, knocked him back, focused fire. He knocks me down, but luckily I got the last laugh. I used a potion there, unnecessarily it turns out. And here is that Zealot that I had just knocked off. He has found me again. So I have him up here on the bridge. He's probably going to try to knock me off. But what I'm going to do first is just dot him up, keep the damage up, make him burn through all of his AP. Flashbang is good for canceling anything that's being casted, as is hip shot. I'm looking behind me to make sure nobody else is coming up. And there we are. But surprise, surprise, wait for it. Oh, he rezzed himself and tried to knock me off. But luckily I was running straight over the middle of him. Here I could have knocked him off the bridge, but he would have survived, so I decided to just dot him up and work him down again. But then he does something surprising, which is hide there. So I can't really get to him there. I don't want to be at melee range, since his knockback will probably cool down, and I will be kind of vulnerable. I don't want to get too close as well, because he might be able to knock me off the bridge if I approach the wrong angle. So for now I put down my gun turret to keep me in combat. I threw a napalm, but unfortunately it doesn't register him as being in line of sight. But being kept in combat by my turret will build up my morale. I also threw down a landmine, but just like napalm, it doesn't see him as being in line of sight, so he's not taking any damage. So I'm at rank 2 morale, but I can't see him, so I can't use it. I go over to the other side now. I want to try and find a good safe spot, or not a safe spot, but a spot where I can get line of sight on him. Unfortunately, I see there's no hope. So I'm heading back now. My morale is still building up. I think at this point in time I have a +4 to morale generation. So I hop up, and I see if I can get close enough to actually see him, and I can. So, acid, frag, and now my, rank 3 morale, knocks him, pretty much stone cold. And he's done. Alright, in this next one, basically I realized I'm going to get seen no matter what. So I go out there from my safe little hiding spot. This is why you don't hide on the right side, because you're going to get seen if there's too many. And I knocked that one guy back, but not in the right way. He went too far, so he didn't take any fall damage. Here, what I could have done is I could have redeployed my turret and self-destructed. Not that it would have helped much at all, but, it was an idea. So sometimes I just like to show my fails to show you what you could do in bad situations. Alright, so this next part is the last bit I have for the podcast, and I'm going to show you first a little shortcut. So if you're in Dragon Wake and you control Covenant of Flame, you can cut through the keep. So I'm going to show you a little circle around where I am. Instead of going the long way like that to get to the next keep, I'm going to cut through the keep, hop down the side of the battlefield objective, and then straight over. So it's a little shortcut. If you control the keep, you can actually pass through the zone much faster. So through the doors, and then you just head right back here to the side of the postern. And right over there, you can see the beacon already is, ta-da! You just slide right down. It's much faster than going down and around, and I get a little stuck in a rock. Hi, everybody. And away I go. Alright, now here is the big news for the podcast. Here is my ultra super secret. So, looking here, there's the map. I actually should have kept that up for way longer. I'm going to try and splice that in. What I just did is I picked up, there's little chests right where that start is. You click on the chest, and you get a 20% damage buff for 5 minutes. There's 6 chests, and they respawn relatively fast. So now I'm showing you the way back from those chests to the nearest keep. Once I make that first clip longer on the map with my exact location, it should be much more clear where I am and where you need to go. So, over this little bridge, and then through some doors. Try not to have too much dead air here since I don't have any music to put on. So there you go. So you see me on the map again. I'm coming up that way towards the Covenant of Flame. Very nice sleeping dragon to the left. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see Covenant of Flame ahead. So there's this little hump over here, this little hill that will go right down to that plateau. And luckily, with my 20% damage buff, I'm going to find some people to use it on. Oh, look at that, down there to the right. Wow, it's like 3 or 4 order. And they're fighting way too many Destro. But I have 20% damage. I'm practically invincible. Is what I think. So I dot up people, unfortunately, those order down there died way too fast. And, yeah, I get owned. But see this dock right there in front of me? He dies. Ta-da! Hooray, 20% damage buff. But that's it. That's the end. So, I will put that clip back up now at the end, hopefully, to show you exactly where that is on the map that you need to go. And you guys can pick that up and head to Covenant of Flame and use it for your own benefits. It's a 5-minute duration. It takes about, 45 seconds or so to get back. So you're sitting on a good 4 minutes of 20% extra damage. And that's what I got for this GAFcast, number 9. This is Sark, heading out.